Alright, hey everybody, how's it going? I'm looking up here. Everything's weird. We're not even doing the normal uh, look where it's just me because I have to redo my whole setup for this build because I needed table space. You gotta have a better view from this camera here. This camera needs to have a good view. Everything needs to be awesome because it's happening. Putting together my new PC. Um, so first things first. Welcome. This is the Bear Cave. You're in it, the Bear Cave. That's right. When we're building, it's the Bear Cave. This is the Build Bear Workshop. Harold's hosting. Thank you very much, Harold. I got a few people. Isk, hello. Johnny, hello. Welcome. We're going to give a few more people a couple more minutes to come in here. I don't know how long this is going to be. This might be a 45-minute stream. This might be an hour and a half. This might be 4 hours. I don't expect it will. What we're doing today is we're building a PC. My new PC. So I don't have to do my laptop, which is off camera. I'm going to have this. This is the thing. I got this graphics card. I got a whole mess of stuff to put in here. Um, Graphics cards and fans and my first ever SSD. I got an SSD. Never ever had one of these on any build I've ever had. Very excited to have that. Lots of great stuff. Oh, Isk, thank you very much for the cheer. I appreciate it very much. So, I've built a few PCs in my day. Technology gets better and better every time. The last time I built one was 2012, so it's been a while. Harold, I appreciate that very much. Yeah, like I said, I don't know how long it's going to be. Um, we're going to put this together. Now, it's a game time decision whether or not we will, I'll figure out how to fully finish it. We're going to put our little parts in there. But the monitor I would use for that, I'm actually using for this. So I may have to unplug the monitor, in which case I lose chat. I don't know. That sounds bad. I don't know if I want to do that. We might do that. We might see what happens. I've got a few tools here. I've got some screwdrivers. I got a big screwdriver. I got a small screwdriver. That's all we really need, along with all our parts. I took some stuff about the case. That's going to be done. I'm basically right now just stalling a couple minutes to see if a few more people want to join us before we start getting building. I will say this. Camera is over here. Hello, camera. If you're not a subscriber right now, now's the best time to become a subscriber because 2 days from tonight, on my Saturday stream, which is the last stream of the month, I'm giving away the Master Gundam from G Gundam that we built on stream. It was the second kit we ever built here on stream, or third kit. I can't remember, second or third kit. Third kit. I'm mailing that out. That's going to go out to one of my subscribers. I'm going to do a lottery of all my subscribers, pull a name, give that away. So that's on Saturday. We're going to finish the A-Wing, start a new model kit, give that away. That's going to happen. So that might be something you want to do. You might want to be a subscriber for that. Maybe make sure that your Twitch Prime coin doesn't need to be renewed today or tomorrow or Saturday. That's a thing. So like I said, I haven't built a PC in a few years. Things have changed. Things are different. I did as much research as I could about this motherboard, about the case. The only thing I'm actually worried about in all this build, I'll show you later, is I'm a little worried that I have my pins wrong for my front buttons that go onto the motherboard here. Not here. Where do those go? That's audio here. I'm actually a little worried that I'm going to mess that up, which will mean that it might not turn on, or the audio might be messed up later. We'll find out. Or the USBs could be bad. USB should be fine. My reset button might be bad. I don't know. I'm going to find that out when we get there. Asmo, I'm very happy that you're looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to it. All these parts came in on Saturday. Friday and Saturday, everything came in, and I have been just waiting to build. So, here's the thing. We got our motherboard. We're putting our motherboard on the box. What we're going to do right now is, we got a CPU to put on. and then you're going to put your fan on top of the CPU, right? So let's get into it. Let's do it. These brackets are for a certain type of fan that doesn't screw in, that would clip in. But we don't have that, so we have to take these brackets off. I pre-loosened these screws. Basically, my goal was that the only screws that I'm going to be using today are the screws that screw this motherboard into the case. Any other screws that exist, I've already done the work because it's a nightmare. So I don't need these, so I already pre-loosened it so I can pop this off because I don't need this bracket. So we're going to take these screws off. We're going to save this in our box full of bullshit because you never know when you might, when I might upgrade my CPU fan and need a different one. So we're going to take this off. I am using a stock CPU fan, Johnny. This is a budget build. In the future, I probably won't do cooling, but I may do a different fan as opposed to the fan that came with Ryzen, with my Ryzen CPU. But I've heard very good things about this fan. I don't expect to ever replace it, but it seems like it's pretty good. I've read very good things about it. All right, so we're going to take these. We're going to put these aside. We don't need those right now. All right. The thing that is the scariest. We start off with the scariest in a build. We always do, right? So, one of these corners is going to have a little triangle in it. I'm just going to touch this here, and we'll go to this camera. So you can see there's a little triangle right here. And I'm going to match that with the triangle, the one indent that tells you that that's where the special thing goes over here, which tells me that this is like this. That fell, but that's okay. And then we'll make sure this rows and lock it in place. Okay. Clean that up as best we can. Got a little bit paper cloth here. Gonna kind of wipe that up. Special the step PV fan. I got a really good fan with a huge heat sink for my PC build. It was by far the hardest part. I also managed to wreck my old CPU last time. Replaced it with. Yeah. So we got our fan here, our stock, and this is going to be powered by. I have to find it. The CPU fan there. So I'm going to do it like that. No, you know what? I don't want to do it like that. I'm going to do it the other way. I realize I don't want a cable going here because that's where our RAM's going. I'd rather have a cable go this way and even stick out a little bit. So we're going to do it like this. And then, because there are two ways this could go. Okay, great. Could have gone this way, could have gone the other way. I went this way so that I can do this, because I'd rather do this than go the other way. You might have broken the first CPU you bought for your newest computer because the motherboard was messed up, but Amazon refunded me. So, okay, yeah. All this stuff was purchased on Amazon so that I could get it shipped to me very fast. I probably could have saved some money on Newegg, but I went with Amazon instead. So now what we're doing here is we are going to do the old method of you tighten the screws up a little bit by going around. You just do a little bit each way until you put them all in. Eventually I might switch to my other screwdriver, which is better for finer details. But yeah, so I have some experience building PCs. This is my, I want to say, 5th PC that I've built. We're in the process of building right now. My last one, as I said, was 2011. I built a lot of junker PCs back in the day. My last PC I built was off of a model that Tested built for Jeff Gersman. I built basically that PC with a few modifications here and there. And I'm taking my time with this because this step is scary as fuck. Don't mind, pardon my swearing, but it is very scary. I don't love attaching things to a CPU, especially one that's not attached to the computer. We're going to do this, and we're going to do our RAM, and then we'll obviously wait until it's inside our case before we add in the, what do you call it? Oh, before we add in the graphics card, the GPU. Yeah, we're doing our PC build stream. So we'll look at a few other parts once we're done with this. Build PC, so good anyway. That still gets the nerves. First time. Look, Last Brook. Doing this in front of y'all is scary as hell, but also kind of interesting because it makes me want to make sure I do it right because because someone might watch this who is looking up this graphics card or looking up this motherboard or looking up this chipset and then be like, oh, look at this guy's build. And so that scares me, and I want to make sure I do it right for that person. All right, we got to tighten this one up a lot here. What's going on? All right, we did it. Great. It's all in there. It's all good. Looks fine. This actually doesn't look perfect, so I'm going to... Actually, I'm going to redo this because this seems weird. Something seems off. It's not straight on. So I'm going to unscrew it. Yep. And redo it because this is a step that I don't want to fuck up. Yeah. I'm always nervous when it comes to model kit building because I don't want to mess up a step in front of everybody. Also, you know, this PC is going to be my saving grace and needs to last me for quite some time as I build model kits in the future with all y'all, and my laptop just becomes the thing that goes on conventions with me. So I'm, you know, trying to make sure I do this right. But that did not, yeah. All right, so let's really carefully move this around on our box. Make sure that I do this right here. So I've relieved the pressure on all our other screws so that I can try to be more balanced when I put this together so that this screws down. It also could be a trick to this board that just no one told me, but you can never get the front candle outside the reset button on the motherboard to turn it on. That is not ideal, Asmo. So there's a couple tricks to our case which we'll look at that I'm very excited about. The most interesting thing I think about this case is that we are not going to plug in any of the CPU fans except for this. Any of our fans in our case, we have two fans in our case, neither are going to plug into our motherboard. They're both going to draw power from the power supply instead of through there. And this case has an active controller in the back that control the settings for the fans and when they run. So I'm very excited about that. There is room for a third fan on this kit, or on this case. And I do have a third fan, but I am not installing it because it doesn't seem necessary, and I want to see how things go. All right. We're on. We're back on. Things are good there. We are going to attach this here. You can see there, CPU fan. Great, CPU fan is attached. Let us attach our RAM. We've got some Corsair RAM, DDR4. We have 16 gigabytes. That might be a future upgrade down the line. I have not quite decided yet. Right now, 16 is more than enough. And I do have room for more, so I could get 2 more 8 gigabyte cards in the future. We're going to use our red here. No particular reason. Make sure that we're lining this up right. And okay. Yeah, this CPU fan, it's regarded pretty highly as far as CPU fans go. I did my research for stock fans, and it seems to be pretty well regarded. So that's why I decided not to purchase my own separate one and just go with the stock. Uh, I'm just gonna say I really like the look of this. Like, it doesn't matter. This is not a clear case, as we'll see soon, so it doesn't matter. But I just think it looks fucking really cool. This RAM. I'm swearing a lot. I realize that. I really do like PC building. I know that that was something that I think my mom thought that I would go into because I always had a huge interest in it. I think she thought that I would someday. All right, that's in. That's in. She thought that someday I would do this for a living, but she was wrong. I'm a comedian and an entertainer instead. Okay, so that's all that we're going to do now. We're going to put this into our case, but first let's take a look at a few things we've got on our case before I pull the case up. As I said, I did a little bit ahead of time. The band I bought came with a fan. RAM fan, Ronald. I don't know about that. Okay, so this case allows you to just slide your data right in, or your hard drives right in. But because it's SSD, I did screw it in. It came with a metal case for Corsair that I then secured, and then that I screwed into the metal case and then put in there. So this bracket pops off. Let me see if I can. I'll show it to you later. I have that, and then I also have this 2 terabyte. This is an old. This was from my last computer. We are going to not install this. We're going to put the case inside the case, but we're not going to attach power or connect it at all. I just want to have this for starting things up, and then eventually I will add this as just a hard drive for all my 404ing it files and backups of things, and maybe some games that I don't normally play that often but want to have. So these are going to slide in. So I did put a screw in the bottom of this. These things that I'll show you, you can just slide them on, but I did want to put just one screw in there for safety's sake. Thank you very much for the cheer. I appreciate it. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. So that's going in there. Oh, also, so for some reason I got a deal when I bought stuff. Corsair also sent me, with the RAM, they sent me a fan. I gotta remember I'm here. Okay. They sent me this fan. Now, there is room in my case for a third fan in the front, but I would have to take a lot of things apart. And like I said, I think the airflow is going to be enough for the 2 fans because I am trying to keep this quiet. It's a bonus fan. So the thing is that this PC is hopefully going to live underneath this desk where it normally goes, and will run quiet enough that it won't interrupt the streams. My last PC was a little loud. My laptop is very quiet and is also far away. So the hope is that I can, that I don't need this fan, but maybe I will. I'm not sure. I'm putting it aside. I'm saving it, obviously, and there is room to add it later. This is the Carbide series from Corsair. Like I said, it comes with 2 fans, but they gave me an extra one. This is the quiet model. It's not the see-through model. I don't care about see-through, but I do want it quiet because I stream a lot. So let's look at this. Urgh. All right. Thing keeps popping out. So we've got management, cable management to deal with. I'm going to explain a bit about these cables here. I'm obviously going to put this down to put my motherboard in. So this cable right here, right here, this cable right here is going to be connected to our power supply, and that is going to power the 2 fans in this case. These fans are connected here, one in the back and one in the front. So I just kind of push these through to get it out of my way, because where the cables come out, the back of this case, which you can see in mine thing, their fan control is right here. So we're going to put it in the middle right now because we're going to see how that fan sounds. I'm going to push this away, and then we'll put this down. Great, great, great. And then everything is okay, and nothing is on fire, and no one saw that CPU slide in my hands. a little bit. Great. That's fine. Everything's fine here. Okay, great. I'm going to put this aside for a second as we slide in some things. We'll get ready to do a few things that we have to do. Put that right there. Great. Most hard drive with duct tape. I had some fans I bought that couldn't attach the third fan to the front, so I stuck it on with tape. Yeah, so there's a fan right here, and then there's a fan in the back. And then if I take this cage out, I can stick in a third fan right there and fan my hard drives. And then I have, I already did this ahead, this guide for my front buttons. I have two USB 3.1s on the front, audio, HD audio, which is this cable here, power button, reset button. I have a DVD drive here. I'll actually do that real quick. I'll show you real quick. I put a DVD drive in the front because my Windows disc was cheaper to buy an actual DVD. So I put a DVD drive in there. And then I do burn CDs on occasion for my day job, which is a silly thing to say in 2018, but it's true. This is the case you have. That's awesome, Johnny. Yeah, this is a good price case, and I was excited to work on it. It looked cool. And then also this is the USB port there. These are the bays we're working with here. So they can just snap on. You don't really need to screw things in, but I still do because that's who I am. So we're going to put our main hard drive here, our SSD. It's 250 gigs, which is not enough, but it will be enough with our 2 terabyte backup, which I'm putting in, but as I said, not attaching until my computer is ready to go. But I'll put the case in there. I'll put that stuff in there. I have screws over here that I'll have to grab. Ronald, you have too many fans. I mean, I'm sure that's awesome, but that's so many fans. It's not too many fans. It's a lot of fans. So, I'm actually... Okay, so let's make sure that our cables here are tucked up. All our cables are... Actually, now that I look at it, I should not be putting my cables like that. Well, I could probably do it. We'll see. These cables that I pulled through the hole might actually be in a bad spot. I might have to pull them all through. I think I'm actually going to. I'm a little actually worried about that right now. I have tape over here. So I'm going to disconnect this. This was the fan, the front fan to the controller. So I'm going to disconnect that. We'll get to that later. And then I'm going to pull all these cables through until I put my CPU in. Not my CPU. Well, my CPU and my motherboard in. Make sure that it's lined up with where it needs to, and then I'll run my cables after that. But I'd much rather make sure that this is right. Oh, that came out. So that has happened a couple times here where this has popped off. A few fans watch the stream. Thank you for it. Today you shipped out a 56K modem. That is very funny. So yeah, so we're going to make sure that this is lined up here. Put that on this is on the front. The old buttons are on the front. That goes like that. I'm looking at that. So this is going to go in here. This has popped out a couple times. Once the CPU is in, it won't pop out anymore. But this seems to be annoying. It likes to not stay in, even though I've bent the metal so that it will. But once I get the motherboard in, it should be fine. Oh, thank you for the cheer, Ronald. I appreciate it. There's no such thing as too many fans. Well, I understand that, but okay. So that's in there all the way. It should be in there good. One thing that we have to do at some point, I said that I tried to minimize the screws. We're going to have to screw our CPU in, obviously. We are also, yes, here you can see we're going to have to take 2 of these gates off for our graphics card. And so we're going to have to unscrew this whole piece, pull this off, and then slide these 2 pieces out. But we're going to wait on that until we put our CPU in. So let's put our CPU in. Okay, everything's going to be great, and everything's going to rule, and we're all going to be very excited, and everything is going to go perfect, and let's do it. All right. Okay. All right, nice and easy. And we're going to find our screws here. Find our spot. There's a guiding peg that I'm using for where to put my screws here. So I'm going to do that and make sure that that's right. I'm going to make sure that that's right. Perfect. Guiding peg is right. CPU is where it should be. I can see the holes for all the screws. We're going to put in 6 screws here. I can see it's all popped in the back. Things look good there. You can't see because I'm not showing that. This is tricky. You're not wrong, Slowbird. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about this. I've got some screws and I've got a screwdriver. So again, we're going to do our like counterclockwise, clockwise. Drop the screw already. We're going to put a screw in there. And we're going to see if this is the right screw. I believe it's the right screw by just putting it there. Yep. And okay, that didn't tighten it. I'm actually going to get up for a little bit. You're going to see my waist here. Apologize for that. Hopefully the case covers that because I am going in pretty deep here. To go get these screws that I need to get in here. And I am a little nervous about this part, but not terribly nervous. But of course a little nervous, because this is one of the trickier parts. Obviously our trickiest thing, putting the CPU in, putting the fan on the CPU, those things are tough. One of the challenges we're going to have coming up now is making sure we can see everything as we screw our things in, and then as we attach our cables, because it is now inside a dark case. So one of the trickier screws here is in the corner top here of this case. I am kind of guiding it a little bit. I'm actually going to use my bigger screwdriver because hopefully that will make things easier. And did that go in? That did not go in. Great. All right, so we will use a little bit of tape here. Just a little bit of tape, and then see if we can collect it. That didn't work. Sometimes that works really well. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay. I mean, the other thing we can always do is we can always tip and shake. I do have extra screws, so if I have to, I can just pull it. But I got it up with some tape. Tape is very helpful at this stage. I also have all my screws for this are now on a piece of tape off camera. You're right, Johnny. Stream stress is tough. I don't usually fall in too much of it. You know, there's occasional parts. I did break that part of one kit, the perfect grade, which we then had to repair. But that was actually fun to learn, fun to do, fun to repair. So I am going to try to get this screw in here. I could have put my screws in before I slid the case in. Some people do that. I don't love doing that, so I didn't. But I might have thought about doing it for this one. All right, I got it in place, and I'm going to screw it in a little bit here just to get it going. All right, so I got 1, 2, 3, then 4 and 5. I only need actually 5 screws to put this in place. So let's do that. This is the one that's going to be behind our graphics card. So we're going to make sure that we do this right. And our last one goes here. Great. I have extras for these, which we did not need, which is nice. And now I'm going to tighten them all up. Tighten them all up. tighten them all up. So while I do this, I can tell you that two of my shows that I've been watching ended today. We had episodes 12 of How to Keep a Mummy and Death March. Death March, you know, they finished the conflict very early in the episode, and then you saw more fun stuff. I don't hate that show. I don't love that show. I don't know if I would recommend it, but I didn't hate it as much as I actually thought I might. It's mostly blah. Yeah, at the end of the day, you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's just a fine show, but it's nothing to write home about. How to Keep a Mummy, I loved a lot. Today's the first time I actually build with Baer, is you're going to try and work on a Quake server project. That's awesome, Lashbrook. Yeah, if you're building anything, doing any painting, doing any model kits, you know, always send me tweets. I always retweet those. Let me know what you're working on. That's when I stream. That's also if you're just working on something, like on a Tuesday afternoon. But yeah, How to Keep a Mummy. This show was pretty light as far as like drama goes. It was very much a silly, fun show. Okay, we're good there. Great, we're good there. But it got kind of real at this last episode. Like reality kind of struck, and it got kind of tense. But luckily, everything worked out. Spoilers. Okay, so let's see. How's the best way to show that? Show it like this. So great. Let's show it like this. I'm now taking this part off here. I'm going to stand to do it because we're going to put our graphics card in. And I want to do that before I put in the power supply. So we'll do this next here. Some people will put the power supply in next. I'd like to finish with the motherboard and be done with the motherboard, and then all we have to do is add in do power supply and then run connectors. So we'll just pull this up. I'm going to put this stuff on the tape. They look very similar to our other screws, so I'm actually going to put these screws over here on my side table so they don't get confused. But yeah, now we're just taking screws off this piece here. Yeah, I mean, Death March is like, I woke up inside a video game genre. It's a fun genre. Like, I'm tentatively excited for Sword Art Online 3, you know? Like, I think 2 isn't great. I think 1 is pretty awesome. And I think that, like, 2 is really weird. So, I'm excited for 3. But yeah, Death March was never like the first episode I really wanted to watch of a thing. So we also had on Tuesday we had Overlord season 2 episode 12, which is not the last episode. They're doing 13 episodes, so there'll be another episode of that next Tuesday, and that'll finish it off. And I started feeling better about the show as it went on. I let myself need to catch up on episodes. My motherboard came with a manual, and I did everything in the order that it was written in there. Yeah, I mean, like people have different arguments for this. Man, these screws, like the fact that I'm never gonna fucking touch this thing again, probably. These screws really don't want to come off. This case is very simple, but this part here is pretty annoying. I'm putting a lot of pressure to get that first screw undone. But it shouldn't be too hard once I do that. Actually, now that I think about it, I probably didn't need to take... Oh, I probably don't need to take all these off. Well, whatever. I'll put this back on. I'm not actually sure what I need to take off and what I need to take on that. So we'll just pull some of these off. Maybe I just need to unscrew this part. Now that I look at it, I'm not sure. We'll find out right now. Dot Hack is great. Log Horizon, I think, does a pretty cool job. I think Log Horizon's pretty cool. It kind of plays into the culture of the people that would be in that game, which a lot of that would be in that world and wake up in a world, and the fact that like the economy they have to build an economy before anyone can do anything in the game. I think that there's some interesting things to that world, Log Horizon, and it makes it for a much more interesting story than some of the other shows. But for the most part, I think that they're not great. I think even like Gate, not Steins Gate, but Gate, which is not a video game thing, it's just our world and a fantasy world get connected through a gate, is actually pretty interesting. Although it maybe gets a little silly. Yeah, Ronald. A lot of motherboards want you to put the motherboard in first and then attach everything there. But I think like especially the putting the pressure on the motherboard. I don't like putting pressure on a motherboard when it's screwed in. I kind of like doing it on the box. I my forefathers have done it that way, and I think they were right. But I'm not complaining if people follow directions instead of following their gut or following YouTube instructions. You know, this is legitimately the most annoying part so far has been this, which is fine. I'm not mad at it. It's just annoying. Trying to get this to unscrew because this is where I need to put it. Great. Okay, those came off. We got one I want to put back on because I want to have this on, and then we'll have the screws that we'll put back on to screw the case into place, or screw the graphics card into place. Yeah, Gate does get pretty weird in its sexual. That's also the biggest thing about Death March is that like there's a fucking like it's a horny show, and like sometimes the horniness, like I don't got a problem with that. Like hey, if your show's horny, it's horny, but like that show is very horny and sometimes feels very inappropriate. All right, so here's I'll put it right there. This was a gift. Last year I got this to kind of kick up my gaming a little bit, and thank God I got it as a gift because I would never be able to afford it now. It's a GTX 970. It served me well in my last PC, and it will serve me well in this PC, I'm sure. We are going to make sure that our clips are down so they can lock into place. We are going to line it up as best we can. You can see that in there. And then, actually, should go here. Okay, great. So, messed up. I want to take this piece out. I want to put one back in there. Easy peasy, not a problem. No problem at all. I thought the top two gates were the ones I wanted to use. It turns out I want to use the second and third gate. Yeah, so I was saying Overlord Season 2 got better. Once we got past the Lizard Men, who the show made I think made a mistake in making me really want to root for them. Even though we wanted them to be all murdered and or subjugated. I was like, I kind of think the Lizard Men are cool because they gave us Sebes. Sebes, who is the butler character, who was created by Touch Me, which was the name of one of the human characters before Overlord begins. One of the human characters in this guild was named Touch Me, and he was like a good dude. He was like clearly a real nice guy, and so the NPC he created for his guild is a very like honor-bound older man butler character who just uses martial arts to murder stuff and is just a cool character. Sibis rules. So there was a lot of him in the second half of season 2, and so I was more into the show than I was the first half. Oops. Oh no. Dropped the screw. Try to get that screw. I'm going to sit down. I stood and leaned a lot. So I'm going to do this, and you know, can't see what I'm doing here, but just so you know, I'm screwing anything. It's nothing life-changing. And then I'm going to put that gate back on so that this doesn't pop off. I drop the screw again. That's fun for me. This is why I tried to minimize all the screws, the screw usage, because I drop screws all the time. It's a character trait of mine. Oops. There we go. Oop. Great. So I'm just doing some screwing here. Last Brook was... yes, I had to remove 2, Ronald, but I did the wrong ones. But I did the top 2, but I thought I actually need to do the second and third from the top, not the top 2. But I got it. I like using as few screws as possible, just so you have a lot left over. That is cool. But I'm very bad at keeping screws in place, which is why all our hard drive screws I did over a long period of time while doing other things, so that I didn't feel bad about it taking forever. Because I was like, well, I'm doing other stuff while this happens. Because it's not fun to watch. A screwdriver. Yeah, that might be good. I don't have one of those. So let me... let's put this in place. Okay. I just have to put one more screw in, and then I'll put the bracket back on so that these things don't pop off. That goes in here. What we got going on here? Fishface McGee is now following me. Hey, Fishface. Great name. That's a real great name. Fishface McGee is a great name for a Twitch account. I sometimes wish that I could have fun, cool names on the internet, but I'm always a variation of Pat Baer. My Instagram, it's Pat Baer, because I didn't get on Instagram early enough, and so I couldn't get Pat Baer. But now, anytime anything comes up, I just get Pat Baer for marketing purposes. But yeah, I sometimes wish that I had a cool internet name instead of just my name. But c'est la vie. Oh, using a screwdriver with a magnetic tip. Yeah, that could be helpful, especially like power screwing, you know, drywall and stuff like that. That's very helpful. I mean, it's essential if you are screwing things into the ceiling, if you're doing ceiling tiles or something like that. Magnetic tip is essential. Not so great with PC parts. Just having trouble getting the screw in, which is annoying. But we're almost done with this step, and then we will put our gate in, and everything will be cool. Put the gate back on, and then move on to putting in our power supply, and then start connecting power to things and SATA to things and things to the hard drive and all that. Like I said, we're not our second hard drive we are not attaching, but we are going to put all of these. We are going to attach our main hard drive. All right, I'm just going to screw this in. Screw it. I'm screwing it. It'll be fine. I'm also, like I said, since I have to go back into this computer anyway and attach other things to it, I'm not too worried about some stuff, because I do have to go back in and put in, I have to attach my other hard drive and all that, so I will have to open this case up again. This case, both sides have a lot of soundproofing kind of mesh to help with the sound, which is really nice. This computer should run pretty quiet, and hopefully the airflow will be good enough right over the CPU through, and also the GPU. All right, so that's attached. That's in there. What do we got to do next? Power supply. Okay, I'm gonna put my screws over here. Screwdriver we'll need in a minute. Here it is. So one of the things about this that I really like is the fact that it doesn't just have a bunch of cables sticking out of it. That we're going to be attaching cables on one end to here and one end to what we need. I love that so much. Our CPU, our VGA, our SATA, motherboard. I like this very much. So let's power things where they need to get power by putting this in where it needs to go. Make sure that we're on. We turn eco off. That's where we want. That's where we want. And then put it in the case. I'm going to try to do it sideways instead of tipping it up. We'll see if I can do it sideways. And then let's grab this box. Throw that down. Move this over here. All our many cables. And then we should have... We got some zip ties and such, which is great for cable management. We'll try to do that. This is the thing that we can... so this... I can't remember how this works. Oh, yeah. So this is just like... I can put a bunch of things in here to adapt, make things easier. I'm not going to worry about that. Cables. Where are my screws? Here are my screws. These are my screws for the power supply. So we can screw this power supply in. I've got 4 screws. I've got one of me. So let's do some screwing. Yeah, this is going to be nice because the thing is that I can kind of do cable management as I go. All right, so... Oh, don't tell me I have to do this upside down. I hate doing this upside down. Gotta think if I gotta do this upside down or not. So I did not put this in ahead of time to see how it did with these screws. I often will do that with a power supply. I will often pop it in to see how it fits in the case, to see if it has to be upside down or not. Because I don't mind that, but I don't love it. So let's pop this in. All right, we're gonna pick this up. I'm gonna put this like this. We're gonna try feeding this in, like that, and see how it feels. And we'll go this side first. So it's gonna be a little bit of me kind of messing around here. Talk amongst yourselves as you look at the back of this case. But yeah, having these cables be kind of detached from the GPU should make my life a little easier as I figure out this. And then, okay, no, so that's not gonna work. All right, let's see what happens if I do upside down. If I go upside down, okay, screws there, screw there. All right, I think that'll work. All right, I'm going to pull this down so we can look at it here. This side there. Okay, actually I'm going to turn a fan on here in my bedroom. I hope that it won't interfere too much with... All right, so you're going to hear a little bit of a fan. I apologize that you're hearing a fan go. If I stop talking, you hear it a little bit. Current problem is I have 2 PCs, both with modern PSUs, and can't find the box for one of them, so I don't know where the cables are. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so let's see here. So I am trying to just get this in where I want, where I need it. Make sure that I'm not hitting anything. All right. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, great. I can put it in how I want to put it in. I just have to. There are other screw ports, and I didn't see them there. Not ports, but there are other spots to screw things in, which is great. So let's get this in as best we can, and then we will do what we got to do. 4 PCs in our home right now. We're 2 people. Yeah, I mean, I have, between myself and my roommate, we got 3 computers because I got my laptop and I had my old desktop and now I have this. So that's 3 computers. Like, sometimes you end up with a lot of computers in a house. Sometimes a house is 2 people and 4 computers. Isn't that what how the saying goes? Okay, well, why don't you just let me thread you a little bit here, screws. How about that? How about you let me do my job? We could do that one. Oh, the other anime. We didn't talk about one anime we got to talk about. We did not talk about Dragon Ball Super is over. No spoilers. No spoilers, because not everyone has seen it that is going to see it. So I'm not gonna throw a spoiler out there, but I am gonna say this. Hoo boy! There is a moment in that episode, no spoilers, where Goku is doing a thing with somebody else who is not Vegeta, and Vegeta's response, they cut to him looking at Goku and this other person doing something, and he is so jealous. It is hilarious because Vegeta wants to be better than Goku, but he also wants Goku to need him. It is the hallmark of their relationship is that Vegeta needs Goku to get stronger, but also needs Goku to need him. And it is a great moment. There's just a reveal of like something cool happening, and that's shocking. That I'm not going to say what, but then Vegeta's just like just mad. It's great. It's a great moment. Built a new PC for games. Use the older one for general PC use. Oh yeah, yeah. That is nice. I wish I had that, but unfortunately, right now, my laptop is supposed to just be for traveling. That is the goal of that laptop. Is just I turn it on once a month, load it, make sure that everything's up to date, load in the PowerPoint or whatever I have for shows, and go. And then it's my main PC while I'm traveling, doing stuff and getting work done and all that, and maybe streaming, here and there if I'm at a place where I can stream. But the goal is not for it to be my main computer. And the fact that it's been my main computer for this entire month has been disturbing. I don't like it, so because it's just like running the clock on that laptop. It's frequent use, and also putting it through its paces. Like this laptop is fine for gaming, but it does not like streaming stuff. I don't like using 25% of the CPU for one thing, which I'm doing. Lashbrook, I agree. I think it was a great end. I think it was a solid end to the series, and who knows if there'll be more, but I think it was cool. All right, so we are now technically, probably, hopefully done with screwing things in. Once I tighten all these screws for our power supply, we should be done on my end until I have to eventually, put in more stuff. So now we can deal with cabling, figuring out our cabling, running our power supply stuff, running our stuff to the motherboard. So we've got all this cable here that I don't love having. I'm going to try to figure out a way to go. Basically, the idea is our controller is going to control our back fan and our front fan. Our back fan and our front fan go in there, and then this goes into a power supply here. But there is no good way to get it, so we are going to go above here and out this port here. So we'll lift this up and we'll go out this. I've got a lot of zip ties and such, and Velcro, reusable zips, which is good. The goal is to just take all of these cables, run it on the top of the board, above the board, and out. Will Smith is hosting my PC build. I hope that's very fun for me. That is funny and hilarious, mainly just for me, that Will Smith, formerly of Test.com, is doing that. I find that very funny. All right, so this is our front fan. So we're going to attach our front fan to one of these cables. This is our back fan here. We're just going to attach that. Do that there. All system Goku. Got ahead of them a bit. And then you sort of fell off. Yeah, I mean, look, it's an old show. Even if it is your cup of tea, it's still an old show. All right, so we'll do that. We have one connector left over for fan control we don't need, and this is going to go to power. So now we can push that down. Let's sweep this up here. Let's do, let's find here. Okay, great. So let's connect all our front stuff. Let's get that done. We're actually going to pop all this out, and we're going to pop in the center. We'll do it one at a time. We'll feel things out the way they should go. Let's, because yeah, we're worried. I'd rather have excess cables out here because I can always dump them in here in one of these empty slots here. I can just dump my extra cables. So we need HD, the power, which is the HD audio, that needs to get connected. Our USB 3s need to get connected, and our controls for power and reset need to get connected as well. So we'll take those, and we're going to pop those in down here. Actually, we'll pop them in down here. That goes there. This goes in the middle, I believe. And then this goes, that's going to be deal with later. And then this can go in down here as well. And we'll flip it back over. And we will connect. Let's connect our USB 3 first. Actually, no, let's do this first. So we're going to do our, can't really see in here. Let's see if this helps. Yeah, that could help some. So we're going to plug this in. I'm going to line this up right, which it goes like this. Here. Those are a little shaky. I don't love that. And then connect our pins there. Our guiding pins for all our front stuff. Hopefully we did all that right. If not, we'll fix it. Should be okay. This did not need to go through, so we can push that back in. And USB 3.0 goes in here. We're going to make sure that we're doing our pins right for that. And great. So our USB 3.0s in the front are going to work. That'll be mostly for, one of these will just be for disk drive stuff, or, you know, USB drives. And the other I'm going to use, so I have both these cameras are 3.1. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put one in the front and one in the back so they're on different buses, because that has been nice to do when I can for my streaming. So then this goes in here. This is the HD. This is the front. It says HD audio. It's the front audio. I'm going to sit down for a second because my back is bothering me. Now I have to remember where the HD audio is. Front audio. It's all the way here in the back. So we'll make sure that we have plenty of cable. And then we're going to line things up as best we can. It goes like this. And there. Doesn't seem to want to do what I want it to do, so we're gonna. I might have wanted to do this before I put my power supply in, because it is on the bottom, and that could be tricky. But I think I got it right. Got it right. Great. Just trying to make sure I'm not messing up any pins. Okay, so everything now is connected that I need to be connected, with the exception of our power stuff. We now can do our SATA drive connections. So let's do that. We'll do SATA to the board SATA first. Watching Will PPC was convinced me I could build one. Yeah, good man Will Smith, Technologies Will Smith, yes, definitely also was pretty instrumental in me feeling like I could do this. Let's see. So this cable came with our SD drive, so we're going to use that cable there. And then I've got a couple other cables here for our DVD player and for our hard drive. So we'll pop this up, and then we will hopefully be all set with that. I'm going to flip this around here, pop this back some. Here's the front. You can look at the front of it while I attach some SD cables. Not SD cables, SATA cables. So we will let's do this here. Let's do this here. Let's put SATA and SATA through. And we'll just pop them through the center and figure out where on the board our SATAs are. And then we need one more SATA, which I'll put, popped off. We're not going to attach this SATA cable here to the computer. This is the SATA for our 2 terabyte hard drive, which we are not attaching right now. But we're still going to put the cable in so that the cable is in. And then we need one more SATA cable for our DVD drive. So we'll do that. I'm going to sit in my chair for a second. You can see I have a flashlight. I should have grabbed it. Did not. I am going to grab my phone and use my phone as a flashlight. Pro tip from Baer. Don't be afraid to use your phone as a flashlight. Great. So let's SATA that up. Whoops. Oh, that didn't work how I wanted to. There we go. All right. And SATA goes there. Great. Now we can put our SATA cables where they need to go. You've never been able to keep track of your flashlights. Yeah, I have one really very nice LED flashlight that I like using. Okay, so let's find our SATA ports. We've got USB. We don't need that. We've got 2 SATA over here. We've got SATA down here. So let's put this SATA here so that we can just keep it off to the side for when we need it later. And let's put this SATA down here. The black one we won't attach to anything because we don't need it. We will attach the blue one, which is our other hard drive. So this one we won't attach to anything. We will soon, but not for this build, this part of the build. And all right, now we have to do power from our SD, from our DVD drive, CPU, GPU. Okay, so let's do power cables. Okay. Let's do motherboard first. All right, so we're keeping our twist ties and stuff. Okay. So we'll put, we're going to come up. Let's see if we can do that. Can we go up and over, or do we have to go around? This is sometimes this stuff is not fun and is not, there's nothing cool and whatever about it. What popped off? What just popped off? Oh yeah. So this popped off, which we didn't need. So we'll put this over here. This is D. This is great. Great. All right. So can I go? So sometimes this is going to be annoying because I'm not going to be able to really show you what I'm doing. You'll just have to trust me that I'm doing it right. Let's get our power supply here. Power supply is connected. And then we'll see if we can go out and around with it. We might be able to, we might not be able to. I'm not too worried about cable management. As I said, I'm going to have to get in here and do some other bullshit anyway. But if I can, I'd like to make things neat, and because it'll be easier for me later. Yes, I think that's going to work. Great. That did work. So now I'll make sure I've got all that. And then motherboard. They're locked in place. I've got to get my CPU power right. What do I got to do next? This is the power supply, so we'll put that aside. What else we got to do? Don't that. What do we got to do here? CPU. Got to do some CPU stuff, right? Where's that handled? All right, we'll wire everything else up. Let's do what else we need, and then we'll come back to that. Let's do some SATA. Do SATA 1. Shove this over in here. This is rough on the old back Baer. Sit down in this chair for a little bit. I'm also not using my normal chair, which is I don't enjoy. All right, so we got our SATA coming out here, our first SATA cable. We are going to attach. This is going to go. We've got to attach. Two of these will be for our hard drive. The third will be for our fan, and then we'll run SATA 2 for our DVD drive. So we'll attach basically like this, and then we'll attach this. This is controlling our fans. So that's power for the fan. That's power for our hard drive. And then if we ever need another drive, we can pull power off of our off of something else, off of our second SATA, which is going to there. And this SATA goes on here. Great. SATA's connected, SATA's connected. Uh, just see what's going on here. Lost my mouse there for a second. All right, so that looks good. Put that in there. Then we need to run another SATA cable up to our DVD player. We'll see if this works. Doesn't. Okay. Lost it. Hold on a second. This table, the mouse that I use does not like this table, so then I have to adjust things with it. There we go. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave emote in there. Thanks you all for watching here as I take kind of a moment to breathe a little bit. But I'm excited to be doing this. Thank you all for joining me. It's been rad to have you here watching me do this. I should check in. In a moment, I am going to do my advertisements as it is, I got to promote my stuff and let you know about things. I will say this. If you're a subscriber, Saturday, 2 nights from now, I am doing a giveaway for a subscriber who will win the Master Gundam from G Gundam that I built here on the show early on in the early days. I'm giving that away, and I'm going to do the last stream of every month will be a stream where I give away a model kit or Lego set or the like to a subscriber. And so that'll be a monthly thing until I run out of kits to mail out. But I have such a backlog of kits to send out that I just want to start doing it. Okay, so that's connected. And then I'm going to connect this here. I'm going to turn this so that I can look at it. And you can see, oops, what happened here? Zorbs, hello, welcome, welcoming. My mouse is being very weird, so I apologize for all that. And I don't know why it's going on here. Let's do that. Why don't we just do that? I'm going to restart the stream. Not the stream. I'm going to restart the dashboard here. So hold on just 1 second. Okay, so I've got to connect this here to SATA 2. I could have done that sooner. Could have done that instead of doing SATA 1. I probably should have done SATA 2 first, but I didn't. So let me actually look in this and see if there's anything else that I want to do here. No, I think we're good. So that goes in there. That goes in there. And then, do I have... No, I believe the CPU ports were here. Actually. All right, I think I've got everything connected. Looking at all of this, that's the fan. CPU is there. That's that. I've got all of my ports connected to things, with the exception of one hard drive not connected to not connected to SATA. I've got that connected to SATA. I've got, yeah, I think I've got all my things connected. Obviously, I'm going to keep all that stuff aside. Yeah. I think I'm ready to do power and post and see what's up with this computer and see how it's running and how it's working. Unplug this because I don't want this hard drive connected to power. So we have to unplug that, which I knew but didn't do. This can go in there. This can kind of get tucked. So obviously I will be tightening all these cables and doing all that, but right now I'm just kind of feeding them through. But yeah, I'm all but ready to turn this thing on. And and see what it says. So before we do that, we will take a moment and I will link you to ways that you can support these streams and this channel, in the endeavors that I do, and then I will attempt to post this and let people see what's up. So I will turn the fan onto middle. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to put this down on the floor here, off camera, and plug it into power. And then I'm going to, so, hello. Let's see here. Let's just maximize this for a second. Hi, everybody. So I'm going to turn it on in a moment. But right now, I'm going to click this. First off, I got a Patreon. I'm trying to hit $150 a month so I can stream 3 times a week. If that's something that interests you, feel free to support that there. That's one way you can support what I do. Other way, buy something on my Amazon wish list. It'll jump the order. On Saturday, I'm going to finish the A-Wing and start something that my $10 backers are voting on right now. But if something came in the mail, I would do that immediately and stop, like that would be the next thing in line. You can also send me some money to my Ko-Fi. I buy kits with money from that account, so you can do that. My coffee, that's one way. And here, as I said, the subscriber lottery is Saturday. All subs are eligible to win, except that one person who said that they didn't want gifts. I have your name written down. I'm not going to say it obviously out loud. You won't get gifts. And then I've got shows next week. So next Wednesday, I'm streaming. Next Wednesday at 8 p.m. instead of Thursday because I'm going to Boston. So next Wednesday at 8 p.m. I'm streaming. And then here's my schedule. Coughing. So those are things for you to kind of keep an eye on as I get ready to change things around here. Okay, most people drink their coffee. Pat drinks Gundams. Yes. So let's see what happened here. Did I lose the stream? Did I lose you all? Did something bad happen? I'm still recording video, even if it didn't work audio-wise. So let's see what happens to y'all. Hello? Are we back? Are we here? Type something if we're back. We back? Let's see. Someone's following me. Let me know in the chat if you can see and hear me and what's going on. Are we good? Are we back? We doing this? Is it happening? Are we back? Hey, type in the chat if you can hear and see me. I got beep beep from Smash Mouth. Is that a positive beep beep? We doing okay? We back? We doing all right here? What's going on? What's up? What's happening? Where are we? Who's Susan? We're back. Okay, we're back. So what I did was I unplugged the monitor that I was using because I'm going to use that monitor on this computer. And what happened was by doing that, everything got messed up. So that wasn't good. So we're going to turn this around here. So that we can face this computer, which is very fun. Okay, so we're gonna face this monitor. This is the computer monitor we're gonna be looking at. The computer monitor is going to let us know what's up when I connect it to this computer. Yes. Yeah, so we're back. So basically, the monitor I was using, instead of using my tiny laptop, which now I'm using, is I'm now connecting the USB or the HDMI to that. And then I'm going to attach the mouse. You're going to hear some noises as I attach things to things. And we are going to see if this works. All right, I'm getting a light on the laptop. Or not the laptop. So I'm getting a light on our desktop here. And that's a good sign. The HDMI is plugged into the graphics card. I might have to plug the HDMI into, or do DVI to the directly to the CPU. We'll see what happens. I might have to do that. I'm going to hit delete a couple times to see if we can go to boot order. In fact, I probably should do that. I probably should, instead of going to the CPU, I should be plugging into the motherboard, which has an HDMI. So let's do that instead of the graphics card. We'll see if that works. Okay, so I do have a light going on here on this desktop. No light on anything here. My fan is working. I don't have anything here on the computer. I do have a solid light on desktop, so that's a good sign. I'm going to turn it there. Okay. So nothing's posting right now, but it could. Fan's going. There's a light in my computer that's on, so that's a good sign. The GPU fan is spinning, so that's good. It might just be a display issue. So what I'm going to do is unplug the HDMI, and I'm going to go get a DVI cable here. Let's see. I'm going to walk off camera here for a moment. Reach for this DVI cable I have off screen. And I'm going to plug my DVI cable directly into the computer instead of the GPU. And we'll see how that works. All right, so this should be on, should be powered on. Yes, yeah. Computers usually do default to the first one. Whoop, losing this. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm a mess of cables here as I try to make all this stuff work. So hold on, and we'll see if I can get this up. All right, I plugged in the DVI, and we will set it to DVI. And no signal going to it. Okay. Let's try restarting it with the DVI plugged in. See what happens. We're now restarting this computer. Ugh. At a certain point, I might just go away and try doing all this off screen, but I figured I'd at least give it a shot with y'all here before I go and figure out what I did wrong and unplug a bunch of things and plug other things in. My fans are all working. That's good. just not getting a signal to our DVI. I'm going to now unplug from the CPU, and I'm going to plug in to the GPU, and we'll see if that works. I now realize a very important thing. I'm going to power things off. I know one thing I didn't do. There is one important thing that I did not do that I now realize I did not do. So now we're going to unplug everything. We're going to pull it up here. I never gave power to our GPU. Our GPU is powerless. That's a huge problem. We never ran power cables to our GPU. So let's do that now. Hi, I'm a dummy that did not run power to our GPU. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to run power to this fucking GPU. Oh boy. Yeah, so I totally forgot about that. This is a thing that I should not have forgotten about. Square, bunch of small squares. Well, it's a good thing to fuck something up. Keeps me human. Keeps me remembering what my life is like. So it's can't believe I forgot to power this. It's very silly of me. Please forgive me. Doing this right. Nope, that's this one. There we go. And there we go. And that I'm just going to run down here to, what is this one? VGA. Which is down here on the floor. Very silly of me to not have powered the GPU. While checking, is the motherboard plugged in? The motherboard should be plugged in to power. Yeah, motherboard's plugged in to power the GPU. Hard drive's plugged into both to power. The hard drive we want is plugged in. The driver is plugged in because we're going to have to hit delete a couple times in order to put in the DVD. This is plugged in. That's plugged in. CPU is plugged. Yeah, everything's plugged in. So we should be good now. I think we plugged everything in we need to plug in. Exists the possibility that I fucked up, but I think we're good. So let's get the cables we need here. Put this on there. We're going to go DVI. Going to plug in power. And then we're going to plug in our mouse and keyboard. We'll do 3.1. So this should work. This should work better than that, because now we have power to the GPU. So theoretically, this is all going to work out just fine. All right, so then we power this on, then power that on, and let's see. Let's turn this back around. All right, there's a light inside the computer. Things are happening. Fans are running. Fans are spinning. I am this is DVI. No signal. So I have no signal coming from the from the GPU, which now has power at least. I'm a bit of a loss. Yeah, so, right now, nothing. Which is, I would like to say, frustrating. Not getting anything here. Not going to run in my cables. Not sure what's wrong. I can try the HDMI again. Yeah, let me try the HDMI one more time on the GPU. Let's see if that works. And that's over here. Okay. So I'm running that up here to my computer, to my monitor. Just, I don't care. I'm going to flip that up like that. While I shove a cable in it. And then we will set HDMI. Nothing. Okay, well, so let's see here. Where are we at here? That's going to do it for tonight's Build with Baer workshop. I'm going to post on my Twitter what I messed up. I'm going to retrace all my steps. I'm going to see if there's something that I'm not powering somewhere. I'm going to see what my connections look like. I'm going to try a bunch of things. And then I will post the results on Twitter. But I don't want to do this here on the stream. You got to see me build. Hopefully on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, I will be running off my new PC. If not, then we'll be back to using the laptop, which at least we have that. But for now, I'm going to go and I'm going to figure stuff up. But yes, thank you very much for joining me here on the Build with Baer workshop on Saturday. We will be building no matter what. It won't be the PC because I'm going to just take care of that off stream. My thinking is there might be a CPU power that I just didn't notice I needed, but I thought I have everything plugged in there. So it might be that. It might be the CPU that I need to power that I didn't know that I thought I was doing, but I wasn't. But yeah, I'm going to figure this out, and I'll post results on my Twitter, so follow me on Twitter. And thanks for joining me. Until next time, thanks very much, and have a great rest of your Thursday or beginning of your Friday or mid-Friday. Bye-bye.